Hello and welcome to We Debate. I am Joe Munene. Now, beauty pageants have been with us for a long time, spanning globally renowned franchises and local editions such as county, regional, and other national pageant competitions. The allure of beauty and the showcasing of the beauty of woman has been deemed to be celebrated on many such platforms. But do these pageants really celebrate, honor, and empower? Or is it merely an objectification of women? This is good for debate.
The debate motion for tonight. Let it be resolved. Beauty pageants objectify women. Our debaters for tonight are: on the affirmative side, we have Chebet Birir, mental health advocate and journalist. On the negative side, we have Roslyn Muringo, Miss Commonwealth Kenya 2008 and Miss Tourism Kenya 2009.
Chebet, Roslyn, welcome to this debate session. The motion up for debate: let it be resolved, beauty pageants objectify women. Chebet, you're arguing on the affirmative side of this motion. Roslyn, you stand in opposition. We start with 1 minute opening remarks, each of you. We'll start with Chebet. That will be followed by 5 minutes for you to put together your body of argument, the main body of argument. After the second 5 minutes by Roslyn, we will go into rebuttals, your chance to respond to your opponent's arguments. Now, as part of the format of this debate, we have a panel of jurors.
And on the jury panel, we have Juror 1, Sharon Obara, Miss World Kenya 2021-2022. Juror 2, Edwin Kuria, Communication Specialist at Ed Brainy Communications. Juror 3, Nerea Okanga, Broadcast Journalist.
Prior to the start of this debate, at the start of the debate, 2 of the jury members are in agreement that beauty pageants objectify women, and 1 of the jury members is against. So clearly, I think, Roslyn, you have your work cut out for you, and we look forward to a great session. So we start off with you, Chebet, your opening statement. 1 minute.
Mama said, you're a pretty girl. What's in your head? It doesn't matter. Brush your hair, fix your teeth. What you wear, it's all that matters. Pretty hearts, we shine the light on whatever's worst. Perfection is a disease of a nation. Pretty hearts. These are some of the lyrics from Beyonce's song, Pretty Hearts. And this is a reflection
at
of
the
what
beginning of the debate. 2 jurors were in support of the motion, 1 was against.
What matters most
have the debaters managed to win over the jurors with their argument?
The society. We cannot move forward
this week on We Debate, do beauty pageants objectify women?
We still rank women on beauty before we have heard what they have to say. Beauty contests are the residue of misogyny that is finally leaving. We must not let them continue any longer.
All right. Thank you, Chebet. Roslyn, your 1 minute opening statement.
Thank you very much. I have a voice right now. Before, I did not have a voice. Why? There was a beauty pageant that was organized to have contestants battle it out in order to bring out the skills and experiences, their inner appearances, what they believe most in themselves. And what was the purpose of this beauty pageant? Was to promote a goal setting that inspired a contestant to search through their souls and also think about their present, their future, and how they are going to make it there. So it was a foundation, a stepping stone, and an empowerment, an opportunity for the voice to be heard. I'm Roslyn Moringo, an ICT advisor and a beauty queen.
All right, Roslyn, a stepping stone to bigger things. All right, Chebet, now your chance, 5 minutes to build your case. Over to you.
Beauty pageants have passed the message that a woman's value is intrinsically linked to her aesthetic worth. This is a very dangerous idea that is put into our minds as women and girls. And it's not right, because no matter, it gives the message that no matter how funny or kind or generous you are, all this does not matter unless you're beautiful. And if you look at beauty pageants, you'll see that only one lady or beauty queen is crowned. What happens to the others who are left wondering if they're beautiful enough, as beautiful as the queen that has been crowned? It leaves a very emotional, a bad emotional state to the contestants who are not crowned. And so I say beauty pageants not only objectify women, but they also create mental problems to contestants who don't get to win the pageant. Beauty contests also tell young women that despite the freedom that the world constantly tells them they have, their real value comes from their looks and abstract measurements that are arbitrary, really, in the society, because one TV station will tell you that bigger is better. Another one will tell you that thinner is better. So as a woman or as a girl, you're left conflicted as to what you need to look like in order to be accepted by the society.
All right, so it sends conflicting messages. We are focusing on the wrong things. All right, Rosalind, your 5 minutes to put forth your case.
The beauty pageant started early in the medieval times, and the first beauty contest was held in 1921 in Atlantic City to promote tourism. The next that came about was for Miss World, and in 1952 it was held in London to promote as well tourism and world peace. Our case here in Kenya, in 1952, we had our own senior chief who held a beauty contest to collect money to educate children, girl children to be specific, because he saw the need of this. So from there, we bore very many beauty pageants across the universe, across the globe. We have Miss World beauty pageant, we have Miss Universe, we have Miss Tourism, and a couple of others. Miss World focuses on beauty with a purpose, which means it goes beyond the skin, what you see. It's skin deep. It goes beyond the talent. It goes beyond belief on what the young girls and ladies and gentlemen want. Because it's not only Miss World, there's Miss and Mr. World. So we need to see that we are not only talking about the girl child, there's also a boy child involved. Miss Universe focuses on providing tools to these young girls to bring positive change personally, professionally. So it's not all about looks. We know world-renowned lawyers who have even become politicians and are previously beauty queens. It also gives inspirational leaders and role models to the society. People believe and they see they can come from nothing to something tangible. Miss Tourism also promotes world peace, also promotes taking care of our animals. For example, we have the elephants. We have the Miss Tourism who set aside a World Elephant Day for the country. And with this, we are able to get even more socio-economical opportunities for our country. Also, it gives equal opportunity to all. There's no one beauty pageant that says someone from this background cannot contest because of this and this reason. We see people coming from all walks of nature to get auditioned and be heard and be seen. Also, it gives an identity. When you hear of anti-jiggers campaign here in Kenya, who comes to your mind? We know Cecilia Mwangi, who had this one idea of eradicating jiggers in a community in Murang'a. And now she's known all over the country and also beyond borders. Also, it creates friendships. Human beings, we are social beings, we are social creatures. And when we attend these beauty contests, we meet people from all walks of life, from different cultures, from different expertise, and it opens up and exposes people to opportunities that go beyond imagination. So in the long run, the beauty pageant world has given great influence to people from all walks of life. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rosalind. So a lot of initiatives, charitable work, it gives identity to the person, creates friendship, and also is a networking platform. Professional careers have been spanned out of these pageants. Chebet, do you want to cross the floor at this early stage? Are you convinced by Rosalind's arguments there?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Well, I agree that the first beauty pageant was in the early 1920s. And yes, they were meant to promote tourism. But that in itself is objectification, because how do you use women to promote tourism? That's objectification of women, using women for business. That was actually business. Tourism is a business. So when you use women to promote tourism, that is an objectification of women. And you can see it started way back. And if you look at who was in charge of this, the first beauty pageant, he goes by the name Phineas, the late Phineas Barnum. If you look at what kind of a person this Barnum was, he has a history of demeaning not just human beings, but also animals. So he would actually parade cats and dogs, children, and then when that was not enough, he decided, let me go for women. So you find that he actually wanted to use women to promote his business. He was a showman. And so that in itself is objectification of women. And it went on until now these feminist organizations started coming up and saying beauty pageants should be banned. That is when now they started introducing things like charity or academic qualifications. But in the beginning, they were meant to promote business, the beauty pageants. Yeah. And even now, if you look at how these women walk on the runway, they're dressed in outfits by designers who want to sell their outfits. Costumes, walking naked on a runway, really, is that empowerment or objectification?
All right, Rosalind, is that empowerment, walking naked on the runway?
Well,
your chance to respond
yes.
to what Chebet has put out.
I would like us to understand the description of an object. What is an object? It is a material, a thing that can be seen and touched. Yeah. In this case, a beauty pageant is more of a service. A lady is walking, you're not touching her. She's displaying, maybe the first thing that comes to mind is her appearance. But as time has gone by, as I said, things have evolved, the pageants have evolved, and it's more than just the looks, the appearances, it's going skin deep. They want to see what talent this lady has, what they have to offer. And that's why before people were identified only with their looks, but now it goes beyond that. What can I identify myself with? What career can I bring to the table? What positive impact can I have to the society and the community? And
all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have examples of, let's say, footballers and actors and even musicians who go on stage to audition. Are they selling themselves? Are they objects? Have they been objectified? Because a footballer is playing on the playfield. He has a banner advertising, let's say, Fly Emirates.
Oh, the shots.
Does that make them an object?
Okay. Maybe a question at this early stage, Chebet. The fact that these noble initiatives were introduced later, it might have started one way, but along the way, as with any organization or any initiative, you keep improving. So the fact that there are all these noble initiatives and charity work, wouldn't you then say that it stands for something good?
No, because even with these noble initiatives introduced, they don't start with what you've done to the society. They start with how beautiful are you? They start with how do you look? What is your body like? Do you have a figure or are you just there? So I disagree that things are changing. They're the same. They're still objectifying women.
Okay.
I think I can counter on
yeah,
that.
Go ahead.
Yes, again, before there was some certain criteria, and that's why we see so much diversification in the ways that beauty pageants have been done. Currently, we have even plus-size model beauty pageants. We have different kind of abilities or disabilities that have been used or recognized. For example, now we have models who have vitiligo, which before was taken as a disability. But now it even gives more courage for people out there to come out because, wow, I couldn't come out because my skin looks like this, but now there's a model doing on a runway wearing Versace, wearing Gucci. Why can I not come out, you see? So it gives a voice to the unheard. Those who crawled under their skin, under the table, now they can come out because their plight has been heard.
All right, okay. So we take a short break at this point. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the debate. A quick reminder for you to engage with us on this motion. We are debating beauty pageants objectify women. Do they or don't they? We start off with cross-examination. Roslyn, your opportunity to ask Chebet 1 or 2 questions to really break down her arguments and ensure you sway the jurors to your side. Over to you.
Thank you. Chebet, as a journalist and a communication specialist, your world is female-dominated, I would say, or it is perceived. Would you take this as objectifying to you, or how would you term it as?
I wouldn't take it as objectifying because as a journalist first, I didn't get this job because of my looks. I got this job because I'm qualified. So I'm a journalist because I'm qualified. Everything else is secondary. So that is not objectification in any way.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Now, according to your answer, you're saying according to the looks. Again, trying to dilute this thing or idea that models are just about looks and that we go beyond that. When we walk on the runway and we sell our ideas, we talk. It's not only about the looks. We talk and engage with the people in front of us, with the judges, with the other contestants, and also with the crowd. How does that make us objectified?
If it was not about objectification, these judges who judge you according to your looks before they listen to you would have called you otherwise without you having to dress in a particular way or having to look in a particular way, and you get to be heard without having to be seen first. So yes, it is still objectification. If someone has to check how you look, if someone has to put you in a camp where they measure your body fat, your arms, your face, how it looks, the shape of your face, before you go to the finals, that is objectification, because what matters at this point is just, you know, how much cellulite you have, how much body fat you have. Really, that's objectification of women.
Okay, we have male competitors who do bodybuilding. Again, I go back to the musicians who have to sing in order for them to be heard and chosen. Are they still objectified for this? I have to sing for the world to know I have a talent.
Yeah, you have. When you're a singer and you want to be a singer, you have to sing and audition so that people can know you can sing.
Yes, and as a model, it's the same. I have to be heard.
What is the point of modeling? What is usually the main point of models having to model? It's just a business, because if you look at these beauty pageants, how many viewers there are during those events? There are many. That's a business. How many designers have to use the models to showcase their outfits or their swimsuits? I mean, that's objectification.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will answer one thing that she said about viewers. And from here, it is a platform that people get to hear the ideas, ideologies of very young girls who have come from all walks of life, and they're able to...
Why can't they listen to those girls without them having to walk on a runway? Why can't you create a different platform where these girls can just come no matter how they look? Because if you look at who is heard on those platforms, they have to look a particular way to be heard. Why don't you just get girls from all over and like from anywhere so that their voices can be heard?
What is happening.
Beauty pageants have created this notion that for you to get a scholarship or for you to be recognized, you have to be beautiful first, and that's purely objectifying women.
Let me ask. We go to art galleries. You look at paintings and you admire them. Look at a landscape. Is the issue here what our definition of beauty is, which I think has been changing, as Roslyn said, or is the issue that the human or the woman's body should not be an art form? Because there's the argument where you could say, I can appreciate the beauty in a human being. And I think it's also been expanded to also cover males nowadays. Previously it didn't. So is your issue about what is defined as beauty? Or is it the mere fact that the human body, any appreciation of it is objectification?
any appreciation of human beauty is objectification, and that is what is in our society today, not just in beauty pageants. And especially on women. You have, before someone really considers you as intelligent, or they say first impressions matter. So this is psychologically or subconsciously placed in our minds that, you know, when someone is beautiful, then you can listen to them. So it is about how we are as human beings, and beauty pageants have just worsened that ideology.
The perception of...
Perception,
okay.
yeah.
So Chebet, your questions to Rosalie?
All right, my question is to my worthy opponent. If beauty pageants were not about objectification, if you look back at the initial beauty pageants, the first beauty pageant, which was Miss America in the 1920s, and then it took a break and, due to the World War, and then it came back in the 1950s. There's the model who won either Miss America or Miss Universe, the initial beauty pageants. She won, and then she was asked to pose in a swimsuit after that, and she refused. When she declined, the swimsuit factory, or the sponsor, they were the sponsors the sponsors of this beauty pageant was a swimsuit company, and so they pulled out from the pageant and went aside and created a different pageant, which was Miss USA. If it was not about selling their swimsuits or objectifying women, why would they pull out because someone refused to pose in a swimsuit?
Okay, thank you. In this world, fortunately or unfortunately, it's a competitive world where people look out also for the interests of their pockets. A sponsor has decided to give you an attire to walk in. Yes, it was a bikini. Does it go against my beliefs? Maybe. Even right now we see like Miss Somali, before they were not competing in the pageants, but now they have been embraced and they're able to wear the hijab. Before, yes, I agree, there are a bit of archaic or medieval ways of doing their things, but with time they have come to adjust and evolve themselves to accommodate everyone from different cultures, from different backgrounds. And again, I'll give an example. I am being sponsored to go on a trip to play football in this country. And the sponsor says you have to put on my jersey. And I say no, because it's made of nylon, I cannot, I have to be world climate conservative. It doesn't make me an object just to put on that attire. It's a way of promoting this person's interest and also my interest as a player.
If these beauty pageants were really about empowerment and recognition, then they would not be conditional. Why would I have to dress in your particular swimsuit or your particular outfit so that you can consider me for a beauty pageant? I don't think it's
Let
about...
me ask a question. In terms of that approach, because it also, and I think Rosalind mentioned it earlier, it happens in other fields, in football, in all these other sporting activities. So it's not just on beauty pageants. So would you then say that, I'm just trying to take it to the next step, would you then say that also all these other entertainment activities, including movies, objectify the people who are in those activities?
There's a difference between talent and beauty. Oh. Yeah. So when it's football, that's it can count as recognition for your talent. Mm. But when it's about beauty, really, we can. I believe we've all been blessed with particular talents which we can, explore. You have to have a talent, so that then there's an equal field for you to discover your talent. But when it comes to beauty, really, the society has given us arbitrary standards of what beauty should look like. So you cannot compete with someone on the basis of beauty, or you cannot say someone is rewarding you because of your beauty. That's demeaning, I'd say, God, because even though we say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, I don't think we human beings are the beholders of anyone's beauty. It's only God who can, have that power to say you're beautiful. And we are all beautiful. I mean, in his eyes, we are all beautiful. So when you start comparing beauty in the name of empowerment, that is where you fail.
Okay, so for you as a foundational principle, you're saying how you are born, how you look, cannot be a basis for saying this is better than.
Absolutely.
Okay. Rosalind?
Yeah. Chebet, I would like to please open up your mind and think of this situation that when we say medieval times, it goes to the 1800s, and now we're in 2022. Times have changed. Beauty pageants are not focused on beauty.
I disagree.
It is not the benchmark. Currently, when you look at the Miss Universe, she's not the ideal kind of beauty queen that people thought back in the days. She's, you know, she's totally different. We are no longer looking at 5'9" is a benchmark. We're no longer looking at 36, this slim figure. We see full women, full-sized women, beautiful in their own kinds of way. What you would say is beautiful, I might not say is beautiful. So what have they used to judge them to get to that criteria? What is their talent? Are they well-spoken? Are they confident? Are they able to sell to the children out there? How do they uplift the society of where they are coming from? Does it just die here when they walk and that's it?
All right, okay.
I think you have contradicted yourself when you say we can't judge whether they're, like, we don't have that power to say what kind of beautiful they are, when it is the judges who determine if you're the beauty queen. No. And it is put on a scorecard out of 10. I
said based on talent, skills, confidence,
all right, then.
The things that you bring on the table. It's not just the looks, it goes beyond that.
You've said
the
that.
Same thing as a musician. There's those ones who sing in alto, those who sing in soprano, those who sing in bass. It doesn't group them all as one artist. It's one artist with different kinds of ways.
You've said that things have changed and these were medieval times. But during the Miss Earth 2017, there's a category called Beauty of Form and Figure in 2017. That is just recent. And these contestants were required to veil their faces and dress in matching outfits, matching swimsuits, not even swimsuits. So they literally were walking naked on the runway so that these judges could judge how they look in terms of their body proportions. So what do you mean when you say that it's not about beauty, when this category was actually a prejudging session where intellectual capabilities and service to humanity would come later? And the fact that they were made to cover their faces, I mean, so that the judges could look at their body and not their faces. It's just about either your face or your body before you're considered for anything else. Let's not fool ourselves.
Okay, so we will cross the floor now to get some questions from the members of the jury team. We'll start with Sharon at the far end.
Hello, Chebet and Roslyn. Hello. That is quite a debate you put up. And I have two questions directed to Chebet. Chebet, how are you?
I'm fine.
The red lipstick looks good on you.
Thank you.
What I've just done, I have appreciated red looks good on you. Has that made you feel objectified?
Not in any way.
So you made a remark about any appreciation of human beauty is objectified. And you've also mentioned severally that women walk naked on a runway. I am a psychologist and a model, and I can confidently say I have never walked naked in front of anyone. Is that a statement you'd want to take back or correct?
I would change that to half naked.
What is your definition of nakedness?
Showing parts of your body that would otherwise be deemed as inappropriate by the society. Mm-hmm. And so I'd change from naked to half naked.
Thank you.
And I don't feel objectified by your statement about my lipstick because I know myself and I understand myself. So even without the lipstick, your validation wouldn't really, like I wouldn't seek validation from you. But what happens to that girl who has just put some red lipstick on and is looking for that validation, and then you tell her your lipstick looks good on you? She will feel like without that lipstick, she's not beautiful.
I'd like to counter that and say there is a difference between validation and complimenting. I complimented.
Compliments tend to give validation.
Okay. My second question to you, the beauty pageants, leave those who are not winners feeling emotionally down, emotionally downcast. And you also said you are a journalist and you got the job through qualification. The first part of the question, does that mean to say that those who win did not qualify to be the models they are?
Well, I'd say those who won qualified to be the models they are because of 3 or 4 judges who decided that they qualify, not because necessarily they qualify or not qualify, because beauty is relative to human beings. To God it's standard, but to human beings, someone would see you as beautiful, another person would see you as ugly or not as beautiful as the other person, which is again a notion that is subconsciously put in our heads to compare beauty, and I don't think it's the right thing to do.
And the second part of my question, you said that those who do not win are left feeling downcast and all that. So I'd like to take the example, you have gone through the education system since, let's say we've gone through the 844 system, and we knew that position 1 is for one person. In sports and athletics, there is only one winner. There is position 2 and position 3. Did that deter you from sitting for exams? Or those who lose in sporting competition, do you want to say that not getting to number 1 means that your career is over or that you can never go for it again?
Again, I'd say beauty and talent are 2 different things. Talent is something you can work on and improve on. So if you're not number 1 this time, you'll work hard at least to get somewhere next time. It will motivate you to do better, which you can. But when it comes to beauty, when someone tells you, or not directly, another a contestant has won and you've not, you'll try and go to a surgeon to correct your teeth, your face, your body generally, so that you can fit the standards of beauty. And that, if you have to change who you were created to be, that makes beauty pageants objectification of women.
Okay, and on my closing remark, I am currently Miss World Kenya, but I competed in 2019 where I did not win. And I can confidently say between 2019 and 2021, I have not changed a single thing on my body. What I did is I went back to the drawing board. I worked on myself in terms of communication skills, because most of what I do is about communicating and networking with people. So I'd like you to reconsider the facts and maybe...
I'd say you probably haven't changed anything with regard to your body because you believe in yourself and you don't think that you have to change yourself so that somebody can give you that crown. But this is different with women and girls who are just starting, who want to be where you are, you understand? So when they look at how beautiful you are, and they've seen all the other girls who contest in those beauty contests, they'll want to change their body. They'll go to the gym, they'll go see a dentist, they'll go see a plastic surgeon. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Sharon, you have 2 questions, all to Chebet.
Yes.
Clearly, you are on the side of Roslyn. Edwin Courier, your question directed to who?
I have 1 question for each, very brief. I'll start with Chebet. By your own words, you talked about what happens to that girl looking for validation. Then in that statement, doesn't that then make it a personal issue in terms of development for each of the contestants and not a problem created by beauty pageants? And for Roslyn, you talked about the viewership that this pageant enjoys, especially Miss World pageant being the most viewed event after the Olympics, right? Yes. What is the power that is given to these girls that are given that platform, and what tangible change has been effected by the models? Thank you.
You said it's more of a personal issue. But you see, media and society is a reflection of who we are or what we want to be. So when not just as a person, but just, we all watch TV, we all consume content from the media. And maybe there's this person who wants to be a model when in the future or in the near future. And she needs to know what she will do to qualify. and she will look at all the contestants in those beauty pageants. They have a particular way, there's a particular way they look and behave. So you will want to be like them so that you can get there. So in as much as it is a personal issue, this personal issue lies with very many people in our society today.
That's right. Then doesn't that introduce the element of bias? Because then when we look at these pageants, as the girls are applying, they apply on various fronts: sports, talents, their charitable causes, their communication, and their academic qualifications. Then would it be false to say that this person has chosen to fixate on one element instead of all the other elements that the pageants cater to?
When models or those people who want to be where people like Sharon are right now apply for those positions, these other qualifications come in as secondary. If they were not secondary, then these models would have been requested to apply and just come the way they are without, because I know they send portfolios of photos, how you look, besides those other qualifications. And even during the auditions, tell me, give me an example of a plus-size woman or someone who doesn't fit the standards of a model who has qualified to the beauty pageants, really. And you'll find that even those who have qualified, they still need to, even if they have given, it doesn't matter how much you've given back to society or how much talent you have, they'll still, because even in these beauty pageants, they come to your intellectual capabilities and your talent later after you have modeled for them. So it's not about other qualifications.
Edwin, you had a question for Rosalind?
Yes. So Rosalind, I needed you to speak to what are the opportunities that the platform and the viewership has given to change societal issues that would otherwise have been ignored if they didn't have that platform.
Thank you. Right now, we are talking about mental health. Our own Sharon Obara is a person to look at and look forward to interact, because she has brought this into the light of people, that as much as people feel bad for not being picked for a certain position, which can happen in any other career, that they are able to continue and be heard, be interactive with other people. And if someone does feel like maybe I did not qualify because of this and this thing, I can go back to the drawing board, look at myself, and see ways of improving myself. So it does work as a foundation in many areas and in many walks of life, not just one standard, like I have to work on the talent, I have to work on my skills, I have to be professional.
Yeah. All right, okay. Nerea?
Yes, I know I was only asked to ask one question, but I also have a question for each, because right now I'm sitting on the fence. Let's start with Chapet. Pilipili usioila ya kuashiani. Don't they say that you need to leverage your best assets and use them the best way you can to get what you need in this life? So let's say you're beautiful and there's a platform where you can use that particular asset to get ahead in life. Why can't it be looked at in that way? Why does it have to be seen as we're objectifying women? You're not the one on the runway. Do you know what I mean, you've heard from Rosalind herself, she doesn't feel objected. So really, who is objectifying women? Who's really getting the brunt of that objectification?
I'm a mental health advocate. I have a friend who explained to me how offended she felt when she was in that camp. She tells me of a particular activity where they're required to dress in evening gowns. And she was in this changing room. She's trying to put on that dress because it has a lot of sequins and it's just complicated to put on that dress. So she took longer than the others. And this, the stylists, I understand some of them are men. This man who is a stylist who barges in on her while she's trying to change it. She's naked, trying to put on a dress. And you know, this guy literally just helped her put on that dress without regard of privacy. I mean, why would you assume that I'm comfortable, you coming to my changing room as a man to help me change into this dress because I delayed? that in itself is objectification, because you're looking at this woman as a body and not a person, where you really don't care about their privacy. And so it's about the mental damage that it gives to these models than it is actually about Pilipili Usioila. And as a mental health advocate, I have I saw somewhere that the research was done where there's a high rate of mental disorders and eating disorders where you have to look a particular way. So you have bulimia and this other one is called anorexia. Yeah. So it has damaged, I believe, more women than it has built them, because not all of them get to be crowned. How many of them are left wondering if they're beautiful enough?
Okay.
So it's not about Pilipili
Sorry to cut you
Nisioila.
short, but I agree with that. But there are certain positions that require you to be in a particular way. I mean, you can't necessarily be a construction worker if you don't have the strength and all that stuff to do that kind of work. You can't really be a footballer if, again, you can't do, you talked about the muscle competitions. You can't do them if you don't possess the qualities that are needed for that particular sport. Just till recently, perhaps in basketball, you had to be a certain height to be so that you can play the game. So for beauty, why can't we have standards for it? Even as a journalist, there are certain qualifications you must have before you become a journalist. So why is it a problem when it comes to the beauty world that there are certain qualifications that they need? When we get there, it's like, oh, no. Now, you know, like myself, I can't join. You know, probably I have too much cellulite. There's some places here and there that are not the ideal. So why can't they have their own set of qualifications?
Beauty in our society is relative. So you can't say you have to be this kind of beauty. There is no particular standard of you have to be this beautiful. It is different from everyone. I can say you're beautiful and someone else will say you're not. But when it comes to something like skill or talent, there's no way I can say you're a qualified footballer and someone else says you're not, because it is something we can see and it's something you can do. But when it's beauty, where you actually have, when you don't meet those standards of beauty, you have to change. And this is who you are as a person, not the skill that you have. And so it does not hurt. It does not hurt only the models. It is hurting our society.
Okay.
Quickly,
Rosalind, quickly. So, you know the way we say that certain cultures make food called machakura. You mix everything in one pot and you either get something delicious or something interesting. So I know you said that the pageants have evolved over time. Now we have plus size, we even have midgets, we have all types of things. But why can there be a competition where it's sort of like an open cast call? Because if it's something that's about, it's not just about beauty, why don't we have an open cast call where we would have you, a midget, a physically challenged person, whatever a plus size person, all in the same category? Why are the categories split? If it's just, I mean, if it's sort of like a good thing that we're trying to do and it's not about really the looks, it's about what you possess inside.
Yeah. Okay. This paradigm is shifting again. In the beginning, it had to be skinny, tall, period. Now it changed. You can be 5'6", you can be 5'8", you can be 5'9", you can be bigger than the usual standards that they had set. We cannot say we are objectifying women because we are putting a crown. And now, every woman wants to be identified as a queen. If I can identify with you as a queen, and I look at you and I feel this so inspired, why not? Why can I not be called a queen?
The fact that you're saying that every woman wants to be identified as a queen in itself.
No, I did not say everyone wants to be identified. Women want to be called queens. We are queens. We are all queens.
We are all queens, but
Exactly.
beauty pageants make it look like only a selected few can be queens, and that's wrong.
All right.
Yes.
I need to bring the Q&A to a close at this point. Now I'll give each of you an opportunity to make your closing statement. We'll start with you, Chebet.
All right, beauty pageants have passed the message that a woman's bra size overrides the vibrancy of her mind, that the way she walks up and down the runway will always be more important than her passions and unique talents. Beauty pageants have created a culture where women are ogled first and then listened to second. This is a notion that needs to be eradicated from our society because it is ruining the self-esteem of many girls and women in our society today.
All right, self-esteem issues there, Chebet. Rosalind, your closing statement.
Thank you. It is a competitive world. Sadly, as it may sound, it is the truth. And beauty pageants have come to make girls stronger than they were from the beginning until where they reach. They're able to voice and espionage the voices of the little ones that have not been heard. So it is an equal opportunity for all. Again, it is a foundation, a stepping stone, and a platform to anyone from any backgrounds, whether it's a woman or a man. Thank you.
Okay, thank you both debaters. I'm not too sure that you've done enough to sway the entire jury panel to your side. We now find out.
At the beginning of the debate, 2 jurors were in support of the motion, 1 was against. Have the debaters managed to win over the jurors with their arguments?
All right, the jurors' verdict is in, and at the end of this debate motion, let it be resolved, beauty pageants objectify women. 1 of the jurors is in support, 2 are against the motion. So I think there's been a shift. Chebet, you've lost 1 of the jurors to Rosalind's side. Well, that's the verdict of the jurors. Do you back at home agree with it? Please let us know your thoughts and comments on this motion. A big thank you to our 2 debaters, members of the jury team. Thank you to the team behind this production. Thank you to our location host, the Norfolk Hotel. And that brings us to the end of this particular debate motion. We will see you at the next debate. I'm Joe Munene. Thank you.